What up, watch peeps? Sometimes titanium seems to barely make a difference in weight or feel, and other times the effect is a bit more dramatic, especially when it's well finished with brushed and polished surfaces like stainless steel. When I picked this one up, my brain was expecting more heft, and it was just light as a feather. It really messes with you. This is the kind of titanium I can get behind. Let's check it out. I'm Pete, and we are Chillin' with Watches. Wrist check. I wasn't lying when I said I am almost always wearing this chrono ports these days. This thing's just always on my wrist here. It's on a Watch Steward G-Link strap. I absolutely love these straps. I'm about to get another one of those. But we're going to look at a Swiss watch company, SWC, today. They always have these cool little leather 3-button pouches. This one's a little different. It does have a regulation card as it was timed, and we'll throw it on the Timegrapher and see what kind of numbers we get. This one has like 3 little slots. You could put some spring bars, tools in there, but they have their slot with your watch. And check this thing out. It is a really pretty watch. Just between the finishing and the dial, this color, it's really striking. So colors wise, these do come in this brownish burgundy I have here, but there's also gray, black, blue, and green. What we have is a 40.5 millimeter pilot style watch. It is built on the very successful bunker platform, but as you can see here, this is much better finished than the blasted matte finished bunkers. Now, where the bunker you might think of as a field watch, this one, the Hyper G, I totally think of as a pilot watch. And these retail for a full retail price of $565. When I first saw this dial color, I thought it was absolutely amazing. And then I tried to put it on, well, basically any other strap, and I realized it doesn't match anything other than this leather strap that it comes on, and probably a bracelet. I haven't heard about any plans for a bracelet, but SWC has added them later on in the past, so that would be a really nice option for this. Like a well-finished titanium bracelet would kill. It's burgundy is what they call it, but it's a little more brown than what I typically consider burgundy. It's a very rich dial either way with a really nice sunray texture to it, as you can see here. SWC has a very unique logo and font, and if you watch my shorts, you'll know what I think of that, and I'll leave it at that. Has a very discreet date placed at 6 o'clock, kind of just blends in with the hour markers, which are Arabics all the way around, one at each marker, one at each hour, very pilot style. And then it has this big, wide railroad track, minute track. I absolutely love it. Keeping with the overall pilot theme, we have these kind of big pilot style sword hands, and they sit underneath a flat sapphire crystal. And if you know anything about SWC, you will know that it has 16 layers of AR underneath the crystal, like you do, or like SWC does anyway. Crystal is surrounded by a 45-degree bezel that is polished on the angle and brushed on the top and the sides. The case design, as you are well aware if you're familiar with the bunker, is first and foremost just amazing. The finishing is awesome. You would never guess that this was titanium unless maybe you've handled one of those like Citizens. They do some watches where they finish the titanium with polish and brush surfaces, and it just looks amazing like this. But again, with this one, same as the bunker, it's just a little too big for my liking. I don't want this style bigger than 38 millimeters, but that is my personal preference, which makes me wonder, I think large-wristed guys or big watch guys is probably the SWC target demographic because they seem to do really well at this size. And I don't have a small wrist either. I think I'm pretty average at 7 1/4. But if you're familiar with the bunker, you absolutely will recognize this case shape, these sweeping kind of curved mid case we have here. Just a continuous curve all the way through. We have these giant polished tapered chamfers. Very little case back showing from the side. The brushing is really high quality. I mean, you can see it looks like it was done with a lap wheel to me. It's just really nice and consistent. And the transitions are sharp and clean. So yeah, you know, I see why they stick with this case design. It is a home run. We have a 6.8 millimeter signed crown. Case back is very flat, circular brushed, you know, with some laser etching, branding, and spec sheet on there. It comes on a decent enough leather strap, which matches the dial very nicely. Thank God, because I'm telling you, no other colors match. I tried gray, no, khaki, no, black, OD green, just nothing else. You know, that's probably only the case with this particular dial color. And I'm learning that gray dials are also very difficult to match, because if you don't exactly match the color, it just looks a little weird. Well, there you go. I am dial up and we're running +2 seconds a day with a whopping 313 amplitude. Hardly any beat error. I think that is very consistent with these kind of numbers that we see on their regulation chart. Great runner. We are looking at a 40.5 millimeter case that comes in 47.9 millimeters from lug to lug. I measured it at 10.4 millimeters thin with a 22 millimeter lug width. Going over some of the other specs, we have a flat sapphire crystal with 16 layers of AR on it. We have 22 layers of X1 grade BL10 Swiss Superluminova on this dial and handset, which we'll take a look at in just a second. And these watches are running the Sellita SW200 movement, and they have 100 meters of water resistance. Now on this OEM supplied leather strap, it came in at a featherlight 56 grams. And here is how it wears on my 7¼ inch wrist. You know, it's large for me for this style of watch, but I think it's doable. There's no overhang or anything like that. For dramatic effect, we'll start with it alongside a 36 millimeter Smith's Everest Explorer. And if you're used to a 36 millimeter watch, you can see this thing is an absolute monster. And here it is next to the 38 millimeter seals, and this is the size I just want to see this watch in. I think it would absolutely crush in this size. Very similar kind of case designs there. And lastly, I have an SKX here as our ultimate benchmark. Obviously, the SKX is a different style and a larger watch, but most of you will be familiar with it, and it's a good comparison here, so you can get a feel for the size of this SWC. All right, last thing. Let's see what 22 layers of X1 look like.
Keep the loop.
And check that out. So I guess BL10 is like some new formula of BGW9. As you can see, this has a nice cool blue glow. And it is a really nice, but it's not pitch black in here. And this still stands out with great contrast. SWC always does a great job with their lume. So there you go. SWC has got the message that you guys like some bunkers. And they said, hey, how about a fancy bunker? Now, it is an absolutely gorgeous watch, and it is breezy on the wrist. It might be clunky if it was stainless at this size, but at this weight, totally doable. All right, before I let you guys go, sneaker check. We're my Jordan 3 Desert Elephants. What's up? And that's it. I'm out. It's not too much trouble. Please like, subscribe, and come back next time. Peace.